Hey, yo, what's good? Welcome to another episode with No More Timeouts. You know, you rocking with your boy Roche and JJ. Oh, I heck, I forgot to change my name on the bottom. It's all good. You guys can get the government for one more episode. Uh, but you know what we're here to do? Man, we're here to spill the tea, no sugar. But anyways, what's up, man?
What's
Another
good,
week.
bro? I know, man. Another week. We got good feedback on our last episode, man. So let's keep it going. A lot of news to get to, man. It's been a crazy week in the NBA, which is normal for for NBA free agencies. It's always crazy.
I don't think I've ever been tied to my phone on Bleacher Report and on Twitter so hard since yesterday. I literally left work yesterday early just so I could be on top of it. I was like, it was crazy because last year when free agency went down, it wasn't just crazy in the beginning. It wasn't like the first 2 days because I remember ESPN did a special, and literally they literally sat the whole special just talking about potentials and things like that because literally nothing there
Yeah,
was nothing going on. And
yeah.
they, go ahead.
A lot of the free agency now is actually like trades. It's not
Yeah.
the actual people moving to different teams. It's the superstars that are wanting to move to different locations. And
Hmm.
as we're recording, we
Yep.
see on Twitter, uh, Dame Dollar has officially said that he wants out of Portland, and a lot of people have been asking him, "Yo, man, it's time for you to get out of Portland." So officially, he's said it's time for him to move. What's your first thoughts hearing that he wants out of Portland?
Finally, like my boy, I love you, and I know because you're from the Bay. I get it. I know your personality from what I've seen. You're super loyal. I get it. But you can't keep showing loyalty to people that ain't showing it to you back. And they've sit here and they've told you, "Oh, we're gonna build a winner around you. We're gonna build it," but they're bringing in like one piece. You know what I'm saying? Trying to expect you to flip the whole thing. They gave away your sidekick, which is the main reason why you made it to the first so far in the first couple of times. And it's like the loyalty wasn't there how you wanted it to. I think I feel bad for him because when you're loyal like that, people kind of, in a sense, can sell you a dream and you'll believe it. You know what I'm saying? And you'll kind of like eat it up. And I feel like he's been doing that for at least the past, literally, I would say since oh my god, I don't know why I'm drawing such a blank. Since his sidekick left, you know,
CJ left.
since CJ left, you know what I'm saying? And that was like, and I knew when that happened, I was just, I honestly, I was hoping he would have got up out of there earlier, you know. But hey, I'm happy. Finally, it's gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me, Dame is for this generation, Dame is one of the best of this generation. He is. Obviously, he's from the Bay, so we always root for our guys that are from the Bay. I always cheer for Aaron Gordon. When he was in the finals, I was like, want this guy. I've been hearing about this dude since he was in high school. So
Mhm.
for Dame, obviously, we want him to at least contend for a title, and we see it's not going to happen in Portland. I think it's good for both sides. Like for him to get out of there, get whatever assets they're going to give back wherever he goes. They're talking. It's looking like Miami, Brooklyn, potentially Philly, the Clippers. All of those can give Portland back some assets that can help them to go around Scoot, to go around Anthony Simons. They just took Shaden Sharp last year. I think
Mhm.
it's good for both sides. Give him an opportunity to win. He's shown his loyalty. He'll still get a statue whenever he's done. But
He
I think it's
better.
time, man. Yeah, it's time. It is time.
He better.
He Bradley Beal was another guy that was loyal for years and years, and it's time for him to do something different. You've made all the money in the world, but it's time to play important games. An important game. It's time.
I know we're talking about Dan, but just touching on the Bradley Beal situation right quick. I think he went to the wrong team, to be honest. Like,
Mm,
just being honest. Like, I don't. I love the Suns. I love what they got going on, but I just don't think that. Like, I, man, I love Katie. All respect to him for everything he did for us, but I feel that every team he's going to has to sell the farm to get him, and then when he's bringing other people, it's like, okay, now it's just like us three. You know what I'm saying? Like, what else we gonna do? What we gonna do when we're not in the game type? But that's a whole nother situation. Um, so I had a good question for you. So where do you think is the best landing spot for Dame?
I actually like Philly. I know he's put Brooklyn, he's put Miami on his list of destinations, but I actually think him and Joel would be really solid together. I don't know if Maxey would be in the deal, but I would really want him to play with Joel. I think that's a perfect pairing. I think it takes a special person to walk into Philly, like a special person to walk into Boston and in New York, and those type of guys. You got to be tough and strong minded, and I think he can handle Philly. I don't think Harden was the type of guy that could handle Philly, but I think Dame could handle Philly really well, and I could see them like they're not far away, bro. Like they really, with Dame and Joel and they have a solid like supporting cast around there, depending on what they would have to give up. But I would say Philly, even Brooklyn would be a cool. Him and Mikal, they wouldn't be a contender, I would say, but they'd be a playoff team. But I could see Philly. It probably will be Miami when saying this now, but I would say Philly's my top choice. What about you?
Um, so I actually like it was funny because before he announced it, I literally, last night, took some time to myself, went to the local restaurant, sat down, had a beer, collect my thoughts. And I was like hella thinking about it. And I was like, if Maxey is gone, I don't like Philly at all. Because Tobias is also 1 foot out the door. So and he already like understood not really planning on coming back. So it kind of does take a lot away. And you kind of could see with the Harden and Embiid pick and roll that it was effective, but kind of once you went away from that, or once they weren't in the game, it was super stagnant for them. I like Miami a lot, and I like Miami because they play defense. And Dame is not 100% known for his defense. You know what I'm saying? He ain't no slouch on the defense side of the ball, but he's not known for that. And to be able to go to a team where everybody around you plays hard D, and your main thing there is to focus on scoring and getting the ball moving. So because that is honestly why I felt Miami lost in the championship. When what they were doing wasn't working, and when Jimmy was kind of being nullified because they figured out that he goes to the paint, he pump fakes 5 times before he goes up. And like when they kind of figured out their offense, and at the end of the day, Bam is not I love Bam. I think he's a great athlete. I think he's a great player, but I don't think he's a cornerstone offensive player. I don't think he's somebody offensively that you should rely on because they were relying on him. You know what I'm saying? Like if he didn't get 20, they were for sure losing. Like it was a guarantee they were losing. So I think with that, he'd be able to come in and still play his game because that's all they need. They need somebody that can literally get their own shot, who can really create, who can also take some attention from away from the other people so they can get their shots. I know he's not the most pass oriented guy, but I also have noticed that for every team that he's been, well, the only team he's been on, but every different type of different lineups and stuff he's been on, everybody else has been good because he commanded so much attention. And he actually, he knew how to give the ball up when it was time. I like Miami a lot. I wouldn't be opposed to the 76ers, don't get me wrong. It just kind of matters kind of what the deal looks like and kind of who stays around. I don't like Brooklyn at all. I feel like you don't leave a rebuild to go to a rebuild. That would be just kind of a waste of what he was pretty much trying to do, They did drop an interesting one, which I kind of really wanted to get your take on. The Clippers. Go ahead.
The Clippers is an interesting situation because Paul George, Kawhi, we still haven't seen them healthy for a full season, and are they ready to break that up, to break that pairing up? It sounds like James Harden wants to, he's from LA. Sounds like he wants to come here too. So I don't know. Like you said, it just depends on who's in the trade and how much they're giving up to Portland to see if it makes sense. Because if you're giving up Paul George, I don't know how much Kawhi has left. Like I genuinely don't. Like I don't know if he can withstand a 82 game season in playoffs. So like I don't know if that makes sense.
It's crazy how fast he broke down. Like like, how did he break down so fast? Like
Yeah,
that's so crazy because he literally, I think I want to say Paul George has more time in the league than him,
yeah,
and Paul George don't be he breaks down, but Paul George every injury he had it was serious and major, like some shit that really keeps him out. Like this fool Kawhi all of a sudden has knee inflammation, and all of a sudden he ain't playing. Like it's like, bro, like what are you doing in the offseason? Like nothing. Like what's going on? Do you just
yeah.
go home and turn on the latest comedy special and do your laugh that made you so famous? Like is that all you do? I don't understand it. I don't. But for me, the Clippers is interesting if you're right, not too many assets are given up. But the thing that sucks about this isn't a free agency signing. This is a trade. So
Gotta give up
somebody's gonna
something.
have to, yeah, somebody gotta
Yeah,
give up something.
yeah,
And my fear is I hope, like for me, Miami, they already lost Gabe Vincent. They just lost Max Strus. Like, what else y'all about to give up? I feel like those would
yeah,
have been two key players plus a couple picks that they probably would have gave up for that. So and yeah, of course, they got Tyler Hero was hurt all season. They just freaking traded away. My God, Oladipo. So it's like, what else are you going to do? See, that's my whole fear about this for Game. Is that he is going to make the move to a good team, but they're going to have to give up so much for them, and it's not because he demands it; it's because they are the other team is going to demand it. That it's going to take away from the chance of him making the run.
yeah.
But from what I've known from Miami and why I believe in Miami so much, they're very good at developing players and they're very good at getting players to fitting the system that they have. So I think I think in turn it can be really good. Like I think in turn it can actually really, really for in his favor from Miami, just because of the whole aspect of they don't need him to go there and play D. They need him to go there and put the ball in the bucket, and that's what Dame is efficient at, and that's
Damn.
what he, yeah.
Yeah,
So
Miami is it makes a lot of sense. It does. You know, give up
mhm.
Tyler Hero. And even if you look at it and you touch on the Bradley Beal deal, but they didn't give up a lot to get Bradley Beal. And it's one of those
No,
deals now. You're not having to give up a million different guys to give up, to get the guy that you want. So if you
yeah,
give up Tyler Hero, and you saw the deals that they made yesterday, the Oladipo
mhm.
deal, the letting Gabe Vincent walk. Like these are deals to try to get Dame. Like you
Yeah,
see they're clearing room. They're clearing
I
room to
see
get him.
that.
Like yeah, they're clearing room to get him. Like you see what's going on in Miami. Like
I,
I
I
can see it.
when I seen the Max Strus deal, I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew it was happening.
You
You know what
let
I'm
Max
saying?
walk. Yeah,
Yeah, I
they're
was like,
clearing way.
it's coming. It's
Yeah,
coming.
they're clearing way. So speaking of free agency, we talked on a couple deals, but the biggest ones that we've talked about so far. A lot of people just went back to where they were at. Obviously, Draymond resigns back with the Warriors. Chris Middleton back to the Bucks.
Mhm.
Kyrie back to the Mavericks. A lot of the big name
Jaren
guys.
Grant back to the
Jeremy
Blazers.
Grant back to
Yeah,
Portland. They looked around, but right when free agency hit, they went back to where they were comfortable and had the biggest bag that they could offer, which is with the franchise they were with. But who do you think made some moves that you did like? What were you thinking?
this is about to be hard for me right now.
That purple and gold, or what?
Shout
That
out,
purple and
shout
gold?
out to LA, man.
That purple
Shout
and
out
gold.
to LA. I have to tip my championship hat. You know what I'm saying? To the boys. Nah, honestly, all jokes aside, Palinka, you deserve a round of applause. And I'm saying that because you didn't just do what you've been doing in the past years of just signing whoever. You made smart moves for the team. And I think that was what you guys needed to get over the hump and maximize LeBron's probably last year in LA. I don't think he's gonna be there after this season. To be honest, I don't think maybe one more after that. Like LeBron already talking about he was about to retire, and I think at the end of the day, if he can make it one more season, two more seasons, and Bronny has a chance to be drafted, he'll definitely make that move because he said that. And I've noticed one thing about LeBron, he's low key a man of his word. You know what I'm saying? He tries to follow through with what he says. But yeah, that Jackson Hayes signing this morning was big. Like I think that was probably their biggest move, but next to Gabe Vincent. Um, they got a point guard with grit. They got somebody that hustles, somebody that plays. Uh, the Cam Reddish and the Prince, Torian Prince, what I think I could have did without. Like, and that's the reason why I'm saying this was hard for me because before the Gabe Vincent and the Jackson Hayes signing, I was seeing the other ones and I was like, oh, here they go again, doing it again, just signing whoever to put around LeBron and thinking it's just gonna work, and that's not like it and it honestly shows in the past it don't always work. But they did good. I feel bringing back Hachimura. I feel like he played really good. I also think they did good letting Schroeder walk, to be honest. Some people may not agree with me in that sense, but I think Schroeder was good for the team, but he just wasn't. Like I said, hats off to them. I respect them what they're doing. Y'all know me, like yes, I'm a big diehard Warrior fan. I talk my shit about all teams, especially the Lakers. But most of the time, I'm just defending my team. You know what I'm saying? That's all it
Yeah.
is. But I will give props where props are due, and I definitely give props to the Lakers for definitely trying to put a championship team around AD and LeBron.
Yeah, when you get to the Western Conference Finals with the team that you just put together after the All-Star break, like I know a lot of people would be like, just run it back, but you can't really run that back. You got to
Mm-hmm.
always try to improve your team, and like Rob
Mm-hmm.
Pelinka did that. Like, like you said about Schroeder, I think he's a good NBA player, but I think you were kind of maxed out with what he could give you. And if you
Mm-hmm.
could change that into Gabe Vincent, like that's an upgrade. Like I still think they should re-sign D'Angelo Russell. Like I still think he gives you a lot throughout the season. Maybe the matchups sometimes he might have to sit down because he doesn't play defense that much. But that's when you have Gabe Vincent, and if you can re-sign Austin Reeves, which they probably will, like I feel like they're probably the biggest threat to the Nuggets in the Western Conference at this point. And it sucks to say that, I'm gonna be honest, but I think they're the biggest threat to the Nuggets in the West.
Yeah.
If they can re-sign Austin Reeves, they got a big man who can run outside of Anthony Davis, who LeBron loves just to throw lobs and do different things with Jackson Hayes. Like I could see them, contending again in the West for sure.
And Jackson plays hard, so I think that'll be good for them. And I
Yeah,
honestly, just to touch on the D'Angelo Russell thing, I could do without.
you can do
I
without
think
him.
they, I think they
He does a
could.
lot.
I
Like
like.
he can spot up and shoot. He can pass, but defensively, he just gets lost. Like he doesn't care about the defensive end. So
But
it,
he also like if you notice he'll check out when he's
he'll
not
check
having
out.
his
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
Like, and that's not $100 million man. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that checks out when they're not having their games are not worth 100 to me. You know what I'm saying? They're not worth what people are thinking they should get. But that's just me. Whatever, I'm not to be a critic. I know a lot of Laker fans like them, so but I'm just saying I could do without. But you're right. But I do also want to talk about I do want to touch on our signing. Definitely, of course, we signed LeBron back. I mean,
Draymond.
Draymond back,
Yeah,
which I'm very happy about. I do feel if he would have walked, we would have had some issues, to be honest. Um, and I'm happy to see the core stick together and play the rest of their years out together. I think that's the one thing that I want to see. Like, even if we don't win another ring, I would much rather watch them go down together. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of how the Spurs did when the Spurs had their core. They kept them together and they played until they couldn't play no more,
yeah,
and that's amazing to see as a fan. So and I think it was a good contract for him because somebody to bring it up, we gave him a lot of money, da, da, da. And I was like, yeah, but Draymond took a lot of pay cuts to stay around with us in the earlier years, and at this point, we gotta appreciate the man for what he's done, and if we give him just a little bit more than people may think, then that's all right because I think his last contract before this was like 4 years, 84 million, I think it was, or something like that. So, and he at least deserves 100 bands, here and there. You know what I'm saying? He's done a lot for our organization, period. Bringing the fans together, being the grit of the heart of the team, and being the voice, and it's like being the captain. It's being the captain that we need, so Steph that can just worry about being Steph, and because if you also, I don't want to put that pressure on Steph. I feel like when he's free and loose, He's good because, like, you remember last year when they played the Kings and they said that the locker room speech that Steph had, he literally said, he's like, y'all know me, I usually don't talk anything I'm going to say, but I ain't going out like that. Had a lot to say, and that's cool because it also gives Steph a chance when he does say something, people really gonna listen because he's not always having to talk. So I'm very happy about it. Shout out to Dunleavy. People kind of doubted the man. I'm very happy he convinced them to stay back. I don't know if we're gonna have enough money to get Brooke like I wanted. But if if we can get like a sign and trade to get Brooke somehow, some way, I would do it. But at the end of the day, hey, we can't have everything. You can't have your cake and eat it too all the time.
See,
But yeah,
that's the Warrior fan that's actually like locked in, because I feel like you get on Twitter and you see Warrior fans wanting us to sign all these players. It's like, we don't have the money to sign who you want us to sign. Like, your four guys, your four guys are making 30 million each, 30, 40 million. So there's
yeah,
not a lot of money to go around. But like you said, Draymond, he's a cornerstone to this franchise, man. He is. He changed basketball too. A lot of people give Steph credit, but he, on the defensive end, made it so a 6'7" guy, 6'8" guy could play center and do a lot of different things. Like you said, I completely agree. We should just let them ride it out till the wheels fall off, man. They deserve that. Give them their statues in a few years, but they deserve that.
So before we move on, I want to go over. So I have some of these pulled up. Oh, one thing I want to go over some of these contracts. I just want to get your take
Yeah.
on the money. So one big one I wanted to talk about: Javon Carter, 3 years, 20 million. Why they play my dude?
Yeah.
Like, why they play him like he wasn't over there in Milwaukee doing his thing? And it's
Yeah.
like, you give him 3 years, 20, but then okay, we will scroll up to the Kobe White, who was already there, who's been getting passed up by every guard that comes over there. They gave him 3 years, 40.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Some of these contracts, and man, shout out to Rich Paul, man. Rich Paul is in his bag this summer. He's been signing a lot of guys to huge numbers. But yeah, I don't know why they're just dependent on years and what they're able to do for teams. Like, some of these numbers are crazy.
like let's see what else we got on here. Trey Jones, 2 years, 20. I didn't even like. I thought Trey Jones was out the league, bro. I'm not even gonna hold you right now. Like, I didn't even know. What else do I got on here? Let's see. I think George Niang's contract was solid. This is the Cam Johnson, 4 years, $108 million,
Yeah.
bruh. Please tell me. I love Cam Johnson. This is no knock on Cam Johnson, but this is more so a knock on what has he done besides go to the championship with the Suns. Like, he was just there and he was a role player, but he was more so a benched role player. It's like that's like the contract. Remember when I told you how upset I was when we gave D'Lo that big contract? That's like, so you just got the money, so we just handing it out. Like, is that what it is nowadays? Like,
I think the only one that I was questioning was Van Fleet to the Rockets for maxing for 3 years, max dollars. I think it was 130 something, 140 million. For me, for me, I understand the Rockets. You have to spend a certain amount of money per year. But that's a lot, man. I've seen Fred. I think when they won a championship was obviously, the top of his game, but I haven't seen that, especially the last 2 years from him, to say he's deserved max dollars. But I think it's more of a culture shift for them. I think he's going to show the younger guys how to be a pro and how to be be an adult in the room. So I think it's more about that. But basketball wise, I haven't seen Fred Van Fleet like a lot of people have seen earlier in his career. I haven't seen that, but.
So breaking news. We have D'Angelo Russell signs. Let's go back to the Lakers.
Yeah.
2 years, 37 million. Okay, that's
See, that's fine.
Yeah.
37 million. That's good value. Yeah, I'm good with that.
That's it. I think that. Okay, wait, and then Thomas Bryant has agreed with the 2 years, $5.4 million deal with the Miami Heat. I like that. I kind of like that. Um, some of these EuroLeague players, I don't even know much about them, but they're getting the bag over here. The Thunder is definitely taking a lot of these EuroLeague players. Well, so that's only two really that I see right now. Um, but to touch on the Van Pleet thing, um, that is what happens when you win a ring. And that's just, I'm not saying he didn't have much to do with it, but when you win a ring, you come from and you have that ring to kind of take to the free agent meeting, you know. And he's been an all-star, but at the end of the day, he's been a factor in being an all-star because he's been probably the second best player on his team and putting up numbers to be an all-star. And when you hit that all-star thing, they have to give you a certain amount of money. And it's like one of those things where I see what he was doing. Well, I think that's why it's only a 3-year contract and not like a 5-year. Because I'm pretty sure he probably has a player option after the second year. Let me go get my bag right quick. See what the Rockets talking about because that team is young and they could be good. Of course, I don't think they're gonna make it anywhere past freaking a playing game, to be honest, unless they get a little more talent on the big man side. But let me go get my bag. Help these kids develop. See what they talking about. And after my second year, I'm out. I'll go chase another ring. I got the bag now, and I go chase another ring because I really thought, to be honest, I would have liked Van Pleet to go to like, you know, Sixers or the Heat if they couldn't get Dame, or even the Clippers. Um, those teams that are kind of ready to win right now, but with the potential to win right now and to get them another ring. But I see it. A lot of these NBA players, to be honest, unless their team is touted as a top four, they become bag chasers. But I also understand it because the NBA is handing out like buku dollars, bro. Like they're handing out crazy contracts. I bet you there's dudes that's in the NFL that used to play basketball probably here like, damn, bro, I need to go back to playing hoop because there's some of these dudes making more money than some of the top running backs in the league. You know what I'm saying? Some of the top receivers in the league, and this was a coming off the
Yeah, no.
bench type shit.
NFL players got to be feeling like they picked the wrong sport. You see even sixth, seventh, eighth guy on a roster is making 60, 70 million. And it's crazy, man. Like I feel bad for how they devalue the running back in the NFL and a lot of positions in the NFL. But yeah, these these NBA contracts are wild, man. And it's only
Ridiculous,
going
bro.
up. It's never going down. The bag is only getting bigger year after year. But yeah, it's crazy. Um, Anything else on the NBA you want to touch on?
Uh, Not at this point. I feel like we're gonna, this is only the tip of the iceberg. We're gonna have a lot more coming, just to let
Yeah.
everybody know we will be covering as much NBA free agency as we can. We will be constantly talking about it, till football season hits, even though it's already started. But yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay. So next, I wanted to kind of shift to baseball, man. We didn't talk about baseball last week, and I'm at the gym. I think it was Wednesday, Thursday, and I'm watching ESPN while I'm on the treadmill, and I see the A's get a perfect game thrown at the Coliseum, and
Mm-hmm.
I instantly hit you. I'm like, yo, we gotta talk about the A's. We gotta talk about the A's. They are historically bad, like historically bad. And I
Yeah,
haven't been locked into baseball as much as I used to be. Um,
yeah.
but it's really sad to see what's going on in Oakland. Obviously, we're diehard Raider fans. We saw the Raiders leave, and how much that's affected the Bay Area and how much the fan base has been affected by that. And to
Mm-hmm.
see what the city of Oakland's going through with the A's right now and how they're getting ready to pretty much leave to Vegas also. It
Mm-hmm.
sucks. I'm not an A's fan. I'm a Giants fan, but I grew up going to A's games.
Mm-hmm.
So to see them getting ready to leave is tough, man. It's really tough. So what's your thoughts on the A's right now?
So I am an A's fan, to be honest. And I'll say the same thing. Never been a real big baseball fan. I've always been more so just locked into it when the playoffs starts because I love watching the game. Also been, I played it as a kid. I was good, big back, big kid swinging a bat. That's what I was. But it's sad, and like I said, I'm not going to speak too much on the other nuances of baseball players and stats and stuff like that. More so, just the feeling like, man, it sucks, man, just to watch another team just pretty much up and walk away. Even though the Warriors only went across the water, it still feels the same way. Like it's like Oakland has decided that they're not going to care about the community because if one thing we know about Oakland, yes, it's a very gritty, hard city. It's a lot of violence, a lot of things that go on there. But the one things that they had that they valued and appreciated that during those times when those games were going on, all that stuff stopped was Raider games, freaking Warrior games, and A's games. They respected their teams. They respected that they had them. They appreciated it. We did whatever we could, to make them feel appreciated because even when the A's were not that good as they are, we would pack that stadium out sometimes, just how we did with the Warriors when they weren't that good, just how we did with the Raiders when they weren't that good. It was always packed. It was always sold out. And it's just sad to see the team leave. And it's like, to me, how I see Vegas is like Vegas is just it's enticing. Don't get me wrong, but it's troublesome city. At the end of the day, for any athlete to be in with all that money, and then also it's like all I see is Vegas just wants another. Now they get another 100 some games to have people coming to more attraction, more money for them. And
Yeah,
I
it's,
think
it's
that's
gonna be
all.
tourists. It's gonna
Yeah,
be people coming to see their team in Vegas. And you've been to Raider games in Vegas, like you see, it's no home field
yeah,
advantage. I saw Bryce Harper a few weeks ago when it was going on, and he's from Vegas. He
yeah,
was just like, we don't want the A's in Vegas. Like we want an expansion team, like a team that is ours, because
yeah,
you're just bringing teams in thinking that the Vegas residents are going to cheer for them. Like, no, they want like that's why they get behind the Golden Knights. That's why they get
yep,
behind the Aces, even though like the
yep,
Aces are the best WNBA team because those are teams that started in Vegas. Like I
yep.
don't know if they even love the Raiders like that yet,
I
because that's not that's
I
not
don't think
their
so.
that's not their
Yeah,
team. It's
yeah,
just a team that's coming from somewhere else. And it's gonna be the
yeah,
same thing with the A's, man. It's not theirs. But it
yeah.
sucks. Like I don't know why you bought a team, John Fisher. I don't know why you bought a team if you're not really wanting to invest in them and sign guys that actually put, were actually all stars. Like you trade away these guys year after year. It sucks. It sucks to
hmm
see. Um,
It's because
the
it's
Coliseum,
a
the
farm team.
Coliseum, yeah, yeah, yeah. The Coliseum is obviously it needs a rebrand for sure, but
Yeah.
we could have figured something out, man. It sucks to see.
Uh, And that's what I'm saying. Like between both, if we would have kept both A's owners, Raiders owners, how could we not have found something? You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure everybody that was a fan of the team, like, because they when that happens, a lot of people from the city pay more taxes and stuff like that. But you could have put something out. I'm pretty sure every fan would be like, "Yeah, I'll give you $100 if we stay." You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind. It's not a bad thing, and it's like I feel like they forget about the reason why they were so popular, and it's the fans and the loyalty of the people that were here, and now you're ripping that away from us, and that's just like cold as hell, bro. Like, and it sucks because me, I'm super homegrown. I'm super Oakland A's, super Oakland Raiders, so they're leaving. Now I just have the Giants and all you Giants fans to deal with. And it's so hard for me to jump ship and cheer. But at the end of the day, I never really was a big baseball fan. So for me, I just kind of like who I like at the time when I'm kind of watching, and that's kind of how I go. And I think I'd never accept the Giants because most Giants fans are Niner fans, and me, I'm just always with the combativeness. It makes for
Yeah,
good
I'm a
banter.
rare. Yeah, I'm a rare Raiders Giants fan. There's not a lot of us
Yeah,
out there.
yeah,
Normally it's Raiders A's or it's Niners Giants. I'm
yeah,
a rare one. I met
yeah.
Dusty Baker when I was a kid, man, and he
Okay,
like got me some gear. So that was kind of
yeah,
how I got into it. But yeah, there's not a lot of Raider Giants fans
yeah.
out there.
And I can't knock you for that
Yeah,
because if I was to run into Dusty Baker and he did something like that, I'd probably be a fan too. Like
yeah,
like for me, like it's crazy. So like my mom's a Niner fan and a Giants fan. So it's like for me, it's It was me finding my own way. And that's just kind of how I see it. Like, trust me, I don't even know what I did with it, honestly. I think I may have lost it. Sorry, a lot of y'all don't know. Years ago, I lost my house to a fire. I think I may have lost it in the fire. She brought me a ball that was signed by hella Giants players at the time. And I had it all in my, like, just holding on to it, something to pass down to my kids. And my mom used to do a lot. She worked for Sam Trans in the city, so she's always driving game days and stuff like that. So but for me, it was just the Raiders matched my style more. The A's matched
Yeah.
who I was more. Like, but like I never really been too much of a I want to say negative person when it came to the Giants because I respected it. I loved Bonds, always did, was a big fan.
Go.
The GOAT, you know what I'm saying? Even I loved Posey, Buster Posey, when y'all had him. That was like that. Honestly, was crazy, and that was the one time I actually really paid attention. Is when y'all picked him up as a rookie, and then he started playing. And he was dragging. Like I was like, damn, that kid is good. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, that's crazy as shit. And that was one time like I really started paying attention to the Giants. The only thing for me, it's hella funny, like because we know the Giants just went on their run. The Big 10 game run. Where they're winning a bunch of games, and it's the one thing about Giants fans to me, most there are Niner fans in the same way. Once they team start running, then they all start just popping out the woodworks, bro.
It's funny because you even see it in the stands. Like I saw a picture of the stands. I'm like, oh, y'all going back to games now. Like nobody was going to the games for a minute,
Bro,
And
there
it's
was
the
more
best
seagulls
stadium.
at the games than
Yeah,
fans.
like the Giants Stadium is one of the best in baseball, bro. And
Yes.
nobody was going these last few years because like who's on the team? Like there was no. That's why I wanted them to go get Aaron Judge so bad from the Yankees in the summer,
Yeah.
and he went back and obviously he's hurt right now, but
Hmm.
there's no name guy that the Giants had that we were just like, okay, who are we following on this team? There's no more Buster
Yeah.
Posies. There's no more,
Yeah.
star pitchers. So
Do they still
yeah,
have Crawford? That
yeah, he
shortstop?
old
He's
though.
still there, right? He
He
old though
old.
now, huh?
He,
Yeah.
he
See,
old though.
that's
Yeah,
how you
yeah.
tell how removed I am, bro. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
he's
saying?
there. He's
Um,
still there, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I'm
tough.
happy for the run you guys are going on. I would definitely love to see the Giants in the postseason again because it ain't fun if the Giants ain't in it to me. I noticed they bring a certain level of excitement to the postseason because they always have a team that sometimes aren't so known, but
Yep,
they're always good and they always push really good team to a point where people are like, they're not supposed to win this, but they're about
yep.
to win it. And I think that it cracks me up every time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I want to give all the credit to the Giants. I
We
really
appreciate
hope.
that. We
Yeah,
appreciate
I really.
that.
I I do hope they make it. I hope they make
Yeah,
it to the playoffs.
we
So
we appreciate that. Living in LA is interesting, man, because obviously the rivalry with the Dodgers is real,
yeah.
and I don't think I even understood that rivalry was that big of a deal when I lived in the
Hmm.
Bay, but it's real,
Hmm.
bro. Like I. I don't really the Warriors Lakers. It's not really a rivalry. Like they just played in the playoffs for the first time, but that Giants Dodgers rivalry, like I went to a Giants Dodger game last year,
Uh
and I wore like a Giants jacket. I got pressed.
huh.
Like I got pressed up. Like they was talking. And I've been to a bunch of Warrior games at, in LA and nobody says a thing. But when I put that Giants gear on here in LA, bro, it's real.
It's
It's real.
real.
It's real.
Like everything.
Um
Just
so your boy Derek Carr. I gotta get your opinion, man. Now you had some interesting things to say about Mr. Carr last week, and I don't know. My DMs had a lot was saying a lot about, and we had some interesting comments under the video
I was
about
phone calls out there. Yeah. Boy.
yeah. But he did an interview with the Fresno Bee this week, and
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna quote him, but basically he just said his feelings were hurt how they did him at the end of the season, and his wife was crying. He said she was hurt, his family was hurt. He felt like they could have handled it better. Um,
Hmm.
I'm gonna say this first, and I'm gonna let you go. I think it's time for him and everybody to move on. I think he's on a new team. I don't understand why he's doing interviews talking about the Raiders in July. Like you are getting ready for your season. in New Orleans. Like let's move on.
Focus on that.
Please.
Yeah.
Let's
I'm a,
move on. Maybe they could have handled it differently, absolutely. But you had a, if you would have gotten hurt, they would have had to pay you a guaranteed number of millions of dollars. I think it was 30 million, which they didn't want to do,
mhm,
and I think it was a business move. It wasn't personal, it's just a business at the end of the day. You
mhm,
got a new opportunity. It's time for you to focus on that, bro. That's
mhm.
what it is. What's your thoughts, man?
I completely agree with you. I feel the same way. Like, yeah, look, bro, it's already done. Like, it's not nothing you can say is gonna go back and fix it. And it's like at this point, I get it. Like I said, I told you last time, I don't like how we did them. I feel that I feel a lot of this is also coming out because he still wants to be a Raider. You know what I'm saying? Like he
Yeah.
still wanted to be with us. He wanted to still be on our team. He still wanted, he imagined himself retiring with this, and I did too. You know what I'm saying? I thought we were gonna rock him to the wheels fall off, bring in a rookie, let him teach him, and then just kind of watch him fade out. And I get it. And like I said, like I didn't like how they did him, and I agree with him on that. But it's also one of those things. It's like, dude, like if you keep talking about your ex girlfriend, your new girlfriend is not gonna appreciate that. So
No, she's not gonna appreciate that. You talking about your ex. I promise you that. You're gonna have
you know what I'm
problems.
saying? A
Yeah.
lot of them. So with that being said, bro, focus on what you got. But
Yeah.
I get it. It's the hot thing for him. It's the hot topic. It's most of the time when people come on to do your interviews and stuff like that, they want to ask you those tough questions. They want those real answers. They want the controversial things, the things that they can sell. Media. You know how media is now. Anything that they can sell, any publicity is good publicity to everybody in the media department nowadays. So, but uh, I just think it was like one of those things, like he said, once they made my wife cry, it was like, and
What are we
somebody
doing,
said
bro?
something the other day that cracked me up. Your
Yeah.
wife wasn't crying when the big ass checks was hitting the bank account. You know what I'm saying?
On the
She
first and
wasn't.
15th, bro. On the first and 15th. Like I know she was good then.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
it's time for everybody to move on, man. And every time he opens his mouth, literally Raiders Twitter goes crazy every single time he
Yeah.
shows his face. And there's gonna be when the Saints games come on, like Raider fans are gonna be watching the Raider games, but they're gonna be watching the Saints and cheering against the Saints at the same time, or seeing how he does in the new system. And it's like, I don't care. Like I said, the man can play, but it was just
Hmm.
time to do something different. Like I'm
Yeah.
I'm not cheering against them. I'm not like I don't feel anything. Like it's just whatever to me. He's in a new situation. We're trying to
Yeah.
figure our shit out. Like I don't know,
You
man.
know what I want?
I
You
don't
know what
I
I
don't
actually really
care.
want, to be
Yeah,
honest? And it's crazy because I know there's another thing that's probably gonna go popping in my DM. I want them to win.
the
I
Saints.
want I want them to be good. I want them to make it somewhere far. I want our organization, not our fans, our organization to see what the fuck they let walk out the door, because the one thing the Saints got that we don't is a defense. They have a defense. They've always had a defense. No matter who was on the team, how it was, their defense always was good and decent up par. That's how they beat Brady. All of them beat Brady when they had freaking Winston and all these other quarterbacks that weren't too good. And when they were making their playoff run twice, I lost hella money during them games. Trust me, I put money on the Bucks every time, and I got lost hella money. Lost my fantasy chip, knocked out of the fantasy playoffs because I was number one because the Saints hurt Godwin, knocked out Brady. First time Brady ever had negative points in a fantasy game. Hell of shit, because they always had defense, and that's why I want them to win. I'm pulling for them. You know what I'm saying?
So
I
it's
was
no
always big.
excuses. You're saying no excuses for him this year. He should win. So we gonna learn a lot this year about Derek
Mm-hmm.
Carr, and I feel like
Mm-hmm.
it was just time. Like 9 years in one situation, we never gave him an opportunity to flourish. But I do think he did have chances where he could have took us to another level. Like he never
Yeah.
did that either. So there was
Yeah.
just like, all right, well, if we're just gonna run this back, like there was games this year. Like I went to a Thursday night game here versus the
Mm-hmm.
Rams,
Yeah.
and I think it was like 13-3 for the longest. And they, bro, I was sick walking out of that stadium. I was sick. I went by myself on a Thursday. I was like, I just feel like one of the game. I bought a ticket like Thursday morning, and I went to the game, and I was sick, bro. Like all he had to do was just get like one field goal in the second half, and he couldn't do that. And I was like,
bro.
okay, it's time to do something different.
That
Well,
game,
so let me just put this on a platter for you. So when things like that happen, as a Derek Carr stands, like you're saying, we should have got rid of him. What's your thoughts on games like that? Because I know you were sick watching that game.
bro.
What
I was
what what do you, what do
beyond
you think?
sick. Um, you're right. That's a stagnant thing because also what made me mad was the first drive we went down the field and scored, and it was
Yeah,
like how we score on the first drive and then come up with 13 points at the end of the game. Like, what did you forget about what you did on the first drive? Like, did
Baker
did
Mayfield.
did somebody go? Did you run back into the locker room and change jerseys with your brother? And then we're getting Derek now. Like I mean, we're getting fucking David now. Like
Yeah,
what happened? Like that game, trust me, bro. That game had me sick. So I went to work that day because I had to pick up. You know, I used to work in the morning. I picked up from my boy. I fucking went to work decked out, bro. You know that. Remember the jacket that I had? That jacket that I had um, the the big Raider jacket I had. I had the jersey on. I had my hat on. Literally, I didn't wear nothing. You know, for pertaining to my work uniform. My boss was all like, "Bro, what are you doing?" I said, "Hey, bro, you know what day it is. Don't talk to me." And so I'm in front of the computer, you know, doing my job, everything, and then the game's coming down to the end. And dude, mind you, I wasn't off till 10 o'clock. That game was over at I want to say 8:45, 9-ish. The minute that shit was over, the minute that shit happened, I turned my computer off, cut everything off, grabbed my shit, and I was out. I was that mad because
yeah.
I had like 3 Rams fans at work, and I was on their head the whole time before the game started, and then that didn't help. But it was like I was just so upset. And but the funny thing was, I was upset with Derek. Don't get me wrong. I was still more pissed with our defense, bro. And then like also the calls,
Come on,
like
bro.
the calls, bro. The calls, the one call that killed me. I never seen this in my life, bro. The call where they called the offsides on the defense. I think that's what it was. It was the offsides on the field goal or the punt. Something that had happened that they called it back and gave him a whole nother chance. I was like,
Yeah.
I ain't never seen this shit called in my life. And then when they called the personal penalty foul on Tillery for knocking the ball to Baker Mayfield's hand, the funny thing is, you want to know what I did every week after that? We was watching football. I was watching football. Every time I watched a defense lineman do that, I was like, oh, where's the flag? Oh, where's the flag? Oh, but no, it's because it's a Raider game. We gonna throw that flag. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that. So like I said, I was trust me, I was mad with Derek. Don't get me wrong, because at the end of the day, the stagnant of the offense really pissed me off. But I still, at the end of the day, I know there's games like that. It's football. There's grinding games. Sometimes it's what it is. You ain't gonna score much. Somebody got to come up with a play. But I just got so upset that like fuck, dude, why can't we come up with a play and then all of a sudden more penalties. We had like 4 or 5 penalties on that last drive just to give them pretty much a thing. And then we lost to Baker Mayfield. I was just like, bro, I'm done. Baker Mayfield was only there for 3 days, bro.
He got there on Sunday and played on Thursday. Like that was crazy to me. So we still got some issues going into the season that we need to address as Raider fans, man. Josh
Mhm,
Jacobs is coming off his best season as a Raider as a pro.
mhm,
And he has yet to get a contract extension that he's excited about. So we
mhm.
franchise tagged him. He has yet to sign that franchise tag, which would take him. The franchise tag is like 10 million. But
Yeah,
in the running back market, you want stability. You want to be able to get your money while you can. And he's coming off a career year, so I don't fault him for being upset. Every other day, he's putting tweets out that's like subliminal messages about how they're treating him. I don't know if you see his tweets, bro. It's always something that sounds like he's talking about the Raiders. Like it's like, man, they
yeah,
they doing me dirty, like something. It's always something with him.
yeah.
So what are we gonna do? Are we gonna re-sign him? Are we gonna let him walk? Are we gonna trade him? Like what's going on with Josh?
See, and this is the thing where I feel like, which scares me, because Josh is not guaranteed to be there after this season. And I don't mean Josh Jacobs. I mean Josh McDaniels. And I feel that Josh McDaniels is pushing against giving him the money because this is the Patriots way. If you ever notice, the Patriots never really paid a back money. They never really gave a running back the bag. They would just let him walk and go get somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck it, there's people out there that want a second chance, second fit the system. We got you. And it's gonna end up in the long run, if our season doesn't play out like it is, now we're gonna lose both Joshes.
Mm.
And I don't like that. The kid did exactly what you asked him to do last season. You gave him you told him we ain't gonna pick up your contract, prove it to us, and he proved it. He proved it. He proved it and more. You know what I'm saying? He showed us he deserves the bag. And like, I'm not telling you go give him a max biggest deal out, you know what I'm saying? But give him something close to it. Like, give him something that's gonna make him happy because the franchise tag of 10 million, like, come on, bro. Like give the kid at least 15, 18, something up there. You know what I'm saying? Like something to the point where he's gonna feel comfortable with going to another season, putting his body on the line because at the end of the day, our O line isn't the best. We're gonna have a quarterback coming into a new, well, familiar but new system. So we have to figure that out. And then now the whole league kind of knows that he's elite and leans on him, so he's gonna get a lot more attention. Give him something that makes him believe that we're putting not only is he putting his body on the line for us, but we ain't mad at opening up the checkbook for him. And I also think that's another reason why, if you notice, Devontae's been upset too. You know what I'm saying? Devontae's been kind of expressing that he's not happy with the decisions that are being made, and I'm pretty sure it has to do with personnel. But I think Josh, like, he deserves it. He deserves the bag. We really, really need to stop. We need to understand that we're not the Patriots, and this isn't the Patriots' way. Isn't always going to work for us.
We are
And
not
some
the
people,
Patriots.
you know what I'm saying? And some people deserve what they work for. Give the
Yeah.
kid what he worked for. Like
Yeah.
that's my biggest thing. Like give him what he worked for. He put that work in. He did what he had to do. He stayed healthy. He even played hurt a couple games. He showed the grit. He won us games. You know what I'm saying? We put the on his back. The ball. We put the team on his back, and he carried us a couple of them games. And it's like it's not gonna hurt us to give him some money. Like that's how I
Yeah.
feel.
I'm here to say Josh Jacobs is the best running back in football, and I don't care. There's plenty of them. You can pick and choose who you want, but I feel like he is the best running back in football. That's what I
Yeah.
feel. Maybe I'm looking at it from a Raider fan perspective. That so what? I don't care. But I just looked up his age, man, and it's a little different because he's 25 years old, and that's not hitting the wall. You know what I mean? Like normally when you're about 30, then you start hitting the wall as a running back, but he's 25 years old. And he
I
didn't
even
even
say
get a lot of
28.
carries. Yeah, like he didn't even get a lot of carries at Alabama. So he doesn't have a lot of wear and tear like a lot of these running backs do when they come into that second contract. So like even when you look at Saquon Barkley's situation, like he got a
Yeah.
lot. Saquon Barkley got a lot more issues and with his health, with the amount of carries he's had. Like Josh Jacobs is 25 years old. Like pay that man. Pay that
Mm-hmm.
man. He does so much for us. He catches, he runs, he's able to stand in there and pick up blitzes. Like he does a lot, bro. Like I don't
Yeah.
understand why we're even playing with that guy.
I was trying not to be super biased. People think me as an extremist when it comes to the Raiders. Yes, I do think he is the best running back in the league, and I think it just not because of being a Raider fan. I can sit here and say it. Like, let's see. We talk about Christian McCaffrey being the best running back in the league right now. That man barely can stay healthy to save his life. And he is also built for a scheme type. He really is a catcher and an outside runner. You barely ever see him run in between the tackles. Who else would they say? Let's say they say Jonathan Taylor is the top five. I think that kid, yes, he's good in between the tackles, but he's not too good catching the ball. He's not really too good outside the numbers. And he has speed, but not, he has breakaway speed, but he has no faster than Josh. Let's see who else is there. Dalvin Cook. They said he was a top five. That boy also can't even stay on the goddamn field. We all know Dalvin Cook when it comes to the last 4 games. You might as well bench him if anybody play fantasy football here. Well, I know everybody that's tuning in plays fantasy
You
football.
better get you better
At the
get
end
a
of the season,
second. You better
yeah,
get a second running back
you
if you
picking up Madison. Every time you pick up Cook, you picking up Madison because you know what's about to happen.
yeah.
Derrick Henry, he is a beast. He is an animal, but he can't catch the ball to save his life. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, when Derrick Henry's in the game, you know he getting the ball not in the box. You know what I'm saying? He's doing his thing, but still, like he's not complete. I think that Josh Jacobs is the most complete running back in the league because he can do all of it. You know what I'm saying? He can catch the ball, he can run between the tackles, he can run outside the numbers, he can break tackles, he can get to that second level, he can be agile if he wants to, he can run people over when he wants to. You know what I'm saying? He shows all those fundamentals. But like I said, there's a lot of running backs in the league. I think that are very good. I think they're very elite. But I also think that the league has gone away from running backs. You know, they've gone away from, using a running back as a bell cow and stuff like that. They more
Yeah.
so everybody wants to throw the ball around. Everybody wants to be the next Mahomes, the next, Chiefs offense. They want to throw it around like crazy. But like I said, I definitely agree with you on the fact of thinking he is the best in the league right now in my eyes. But I definitely it just sucks that we half the fan base knows it, more of a lot of us know it, and we still can't get the man paid. And we're willing to let him walk out the door. And I'm just so tired of watching us letting our good people that we should pay walk out the door. Like it's just it's getting ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, we got to take care of our homegrown people, man. And if you put the stats up and you show out, like we got to pay these guys, So
Yeah.
it, I don't know. We'll see what happens, and hopefully he doesn't. Like he sounds like he's threatening to hold out through training camp, and even into the season. Like it doesn't do anything for him if he does do that. So hopefully it's just rumors that I'm hearing that he wants to hold out, because if he shows up and has a really good attitude about it, like I do think that'll go a long way with him getting a contract extension instead of him holding out and it gets ugly.
And
We've
that's what
seen
most of
that.
them did last year.
Yeah.
A lot of players did that last year. Like they definitely they didn't practice with the team, but they were at practice
Just show
doing
up.
their own thing.
Yeah,
You know what
just
I'm
show up.
saying? Like, look, I'm here, but I do think I deserve what I deserve. So I'm not going to be out there putting my body on the line before I
Yeah.
get it. So I'm gonna stand up over here and do everything I got to do, show you I'm still ready. And so that's why I feel that's the only thing I definitely want to say. A lot of players last year did that I hella appreciated, that I
Yeah.
hella realized, and I feel like that should change the dynamic of holdouts.
Hmm.
Maybe hold in should be the new thing instead of
Yeah.
holding out.
I'm
You
gonna
know what I'm
just
saying?
I'm gonna I'm gonna just jog over here on the side by myself.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? I'm gonna go lift
yeah.
some weights, but like I'm not about to be out here doing sprints and drills with you guys. Like, nah, I'm not doing that.
I'm gonna stand next to the running back coach and
Yeah.
figure out what he's saying and crack a couple
Yeah.
jokes. I'm still here, you know what I'm saying? But until I get the bag, these legs are gonna be on reserve.
Yep. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
Um, so before we wrap, man, let's talk about some new music. Last week we gave what we're watching
Mhm.
since there's no basketball and football on, but this week we want to give
Yeah.
you some music that we're listening to. So I'll let you start. What do you listen to right now?
So right now, man, me, I'm gonna start off and give all credit to this artist that I'm not saying I found. Of course, he's been popping for a minute, but one of his I was scrolling through and one of his little freestyles popped up, and this white boy from Massachusetts, Boston, Massachusetts. His name is Millie's. Um, he's nice. Like I like the aesthetic of the music that he's coming with. All his beats are very like airy, meaningful samples, like the church vibes and a lot of those things. And he's talking, he's talking. Of course, he's talking the street shit. You know what I'm saying? Which I like. Saying you don't really get to hear that too much. A lot of these dudes are just talking to talk. But he's also got really good delivery. The bars are on point. I like definitely following. I actually found him because we'll talk about the other person that I actually found him because of Mozzie. So I was searching one day. I'm a big Mozzie fan. Been listening to him since he started. Got every album in the phone. You know what I'm saying? Everything in the phone. I know we're gonna touch on that, which you had told me about adding 4 albums, but I found that, and then so I had found him because he had a feature from Mozzie, and then I found that song, and I ended up like, damn, okay, I like this, and I kind of went another one. He had another feature from Jadakiss, who actually is the big person who's endorsing him on the East Coast. And then I found some others, like a lot more, that just started popping up. I said, okay. So I downloaded his whole first album, and I actually listened to that front to back. So that's another thing for me. For me, with new artists, is if I can't listen to your shit front to back, at least, and I'll say even not even front to back, if you got 15 songs in there and I can't enjoy 10, yeah, I'm done. I don't even want to listen to you no more. And I could honestly say I listened to it front to back, and I enjoyed majority of it, maybe one or two. I hit the skip button on, but that's just because one wasn't my vibe at the moment. And then he had dropped another album called, so that one was on Block 05. So he did another one called Block 06. and which he's touring with right now, and that was good too. Like he's definitely he's catching headway. He's getting a lot of features from a lot of these other artists. He's getting a lot of like plugs from these guys in the game. The only thing I don't like about him is he's a Boston fan. He was there last year when we was whooping that ass. You know what I'm saying? Getting upset about what happened, but it's all good. But other than that, man, I definitely like his music. You know, at the end of the day, there always comes that white boy every once in a while that's nice with it that people like listen to. And the thing I love about him too, exactly like Eminem, you don't hear him drop the N word. You don't. He's not derogatory, but he does carry himself. You know, he's a gangster, he's fully tatted eyes, everything. But he's cool. And then other than that, man, the return of Mozzie. You know, my man, you know, took a sit down, a couple, you know, a little bit of
Welcome
time.
home,
More
Ozzy. Yeah,
you know
for
what I'm
sure.
saying? Welcome home, definitely. That 10% was that 10% song is definitely a banger. My gosh, you got that on repeat. You know, me every morning when I go to work, there's like one or two songs I play every day, and that's one of them. Like for sure, run that through every day. And you know, me being a musician that I still am. You know, a lot of people have asked me about that. Just to launch on that, no, I'm not done. Yes, some things will be coming out. I got a lot of stuff saved in the archives. But as a musician, I the pain in his voice, the grit, and you know the fact that he's always talking about real, and he has his own style of talking about things is the reason why I've always loved Mozzie. And not just being from the Bay, you know what I'm saying? And he has respect around the game of just being a real stand-up gentleman. And I've seen how he acts, you know, Christmas times, things he does with his toy drives and stuff like that. He wasn't a big artist, but putting out the money, just the things he does, and I really appreciate that from him. But what about you, man? What's rolling in the iTunes?
So, I don't know if you know this. I don't listen to as much hip hop as I used to.
Yep.
I'm more of an R&B guy these days. But
Hmm.
I
Good.
have been listening to rap albums. Gunna, I've been listening to, and Killer Mike's album is what I've been
Okay.
listening to. It's called Michael. Now Killer Mike is an OG. Obviously, he's been around for years and years and years. But you know, I know you love Mozzie, and I gave you a song before we started called "Shed Tears," which
Yep.
is it's an interesting pairing. You know, Killer Mike and Mozzie. But those are the two I've been listening to. I'm more of a R&B guy these days. But
Yep.
yeah, that's what I've been. The latest songs I've added.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, man, before we wrap. But when you do get an album, how many songs does it have to have that you like to say it's a good album?
Mm,
Like if it's a 15 track album, how many do you have to like to say that you actually like the album?
2/3 of the album.
Hmm.
I would say 2/3 of the album. So 10 songs. If it's a 15, 10 songs. If it's like an eight, you know, 6 songs, it's 5 songs. Because I feel that you're not always gonna like everything that somebody puts out. And sometimes it might be just a song that talk about something you really can't relate to, you don't like. But I feel that if 2/3 of the album is not good, is not, you know, up to par, then you didn't put as much effort into the album that you should have. Like I said, being a musician, I know the effort that it takes to put into a lot of this, and I know how good it can be when you put your all into it compared to when you just kind of go in the studio and make music and just, well, I got this song, so I'm just throw it on there, you know. And there's a big difference in that, and you can honestly see that in every musician, because if you ever notice, most of them when they drop their first big album, it is bangers front to back. It is like everything is amazing because they've been working so hard for that moment. They've
Yeah.
been, you know, and this is their time and they know. So every song, everything has to be perfect. And then once they catch that wave, some of them, the second album is two things. Either they come with another one or they just say, hey, I just made a bunch of this music while I was blowing up here. You guys can have it. My name's still buzzing, you know? And so that's like the thing for me. And that's also why I have the tendency of it's we were talking about this before, was adding the whole album to my iTunes
Yeah,
to
you
just
gotta
to
you gotta
see.
stop doing that.
But
You gotta stop
yeah,
doing that.
I got to.
I'm telling you.
I got to.
Telling you. Because the shuffle will kill you, man. Like there'd be a one, two songs that I like, and the other
Mhm.
songs is like, why does this keep coming on shuffle? Like I don't even like why did I add this? You
Yeah.
know? It
Yep.
happens so much. So how do you feel about just the state of rap right now? Obviously, you've been in the music industry for so long. And I did see, I don't know if the messenger was the right messenger, but Bow Wow said a lot at the BET Awards. I don't know if you saw that, but he said, all the music sounds the same. It's a lot about chasing the bag and the same tempo. And there's no hip hop album that's been charted so far, and we're in the 7th month of the year, and we have 0 albums that's charted so far. I used to look forward to just that summer slap. That song that just takes you through the summer. You just feel like you got your car washed and you just want to ride with that song for the summer. Like, we haven't had that. And maybe I'm missing it, maybe I don't see it. I know Lotto's song is hot right now, Rip Me Out the Plastic, but like besides that, like I don't see a song that's really taking us through the summer, and especially album wise. Like, how are you feeling? I've never made music before, so I'm curious what you think.
So I'm gonna touch on it lightly, and honestly, we'll save a bulk of this topic for the
Okay,
next time
okay,
because I'm
okay.
very strong about this. It's not the same. And it's also kind of the reason why I kind of took a step back. Lyrics, musicality, difference in songs, it doesn't mean anything anymore. Um, a lot of people are, you're right, they're kind of copying the next man, just trying to make a remake of that song to blow up because all the mumble raps and those type of things, it's hot right now. And it kind of sucks because people are now making music to go viral and not making music to make music.
For the spirit
Um,
of it. For the
yeah,
spirit of it, yeah.
and people can feel that. Like, I think that's the thing people need to understand. People can really feel that. They can feel that you're not making it, you're just making it. Like, and it's crazy that you're right about what your twin said.
Come on. Don't do
You
that.
know I had to do it,
Uh,
but yeah, I'll say he's right with the 7 months. You want to know something? It's also because none of the real artists have really dropped anything. Cole
mhm,
hasn't dropped anything in a long time.
yeah.
Kendrick dropped his album a while ago, and that's kind of what it was at. Besides Drake, and I think at this point Drake is just like doing what Drake does, and it's kind of hard to even put Drake into the rap hip hop scene because
Just
he's
an
such an
artist.
artist. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
just an
such an
artist.
artist. So you can't really put his into our not our category. I'll say that category. Um, and then all the other ones we know, like either are retiring or gone crazy, aka Yay. Like
They venture off,
it,
man.
yeah.
They're doing they use music as like a platform, and then they use it
Mhm.
to springboard into something else. It's
Yeah.
not like this is what I want to do. This is like Kendrick. That I feel like that's what Kendrick is. Like, I'm a rapper. Like, I don't really, he can do other stuff, but like that's who he is, who is core.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, we could
But
save this. I feel like we could
we
save this. This
we
this
we
could be
will
a
save it
whole this could be a whole
because
subject. Yeah.
I have I being an artist and also preparing for my next project to drop, I am very sensitive about this topic just because I also feel that's the reason why me and my boys didn't really make it how we should have. And you can attest to this. We put out some really good shit. We had some really good music, and the fact that a lot of it kind of didn't get a bat of the eye at because it wasn't what everybody else was putting out. And that's a big thing about why I got kind of discouraged myself. Like, I don't want to toot my horn. I don't want to, bust my head up too much, but I've got a lot of good reviews from people when we're putting out music. I play them our new music. People are telling me like unbelievable. Like, even my family members that didn't know I did it, like, that's not you type stuff. And it just so heartbreaking to the fact that to know that at this point, if I don't make a song that sounds like Little Babies, or if I don't make a song that sounds like, the Young Thugs of the world, or if it doesn't sound like, these other festival artists who are like screaming over rap beats and making rap rock, then I just have no chance. And that hella sucks. But like I say, I got more about that later. So
Yeah, I feel like I think this could be its own like whole subject that we could talk on.
yeah.
I know with making music for so many years, you probably are more in tune to what's going on out there, and
Yeah.
why music's shifted like this.
Yeah.
It could be so many different things, but I do
Yeah.
think social media has a play in it, and it's so much.
Mhm.
But we'll save it for next week.
Yep.
Yeah, man, we'll save it.
So once again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in to No More Timeouts. I hope y'all enjoyed your time. I want to thank JJ always. Man, this is it's amazing. But until next time, remember, always put you first.